Today we're going to show you how to make some great looking Age of Sigmar gaming supplement aids for under $10. Alright, so the Season of War is in full swing for the Age of Sigmar, and everybody out there is throwing dice, playing games of Age of Sigmar, putting together all sorts of armies from 1,000 points to 2,000 points to even higher in a lot of cases, right? But here's the thing, there's no gaming supplement aids or game aids, so to speak, out there for Age of Sigmar. And I want to say that maybe Games Workshop didn't think they would sell. Maybe they didn't realize that with the General's Handbook that just came out, all the stuff in here and all the extra rules and things. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't come up with these products, but I've come up with a few different ways to make some really great gaming aids for less than $10. I mean, just go to the store, pick up, some stickers. We'll show you in the video here. You got some index cards. I mean, they're 99 cents right now at Walmart. And some Sharpie markers if you don't already have some, and you can just go to town on these things and really crank out some great looking little reference cards to help you keep track of all the stuff in game. Because, I mean, you got allegiance abilities, and I play Chaos, and every time I forget this stupid battle trait for Chaos, every single time. But when you literally have the little cards in front of you and you put them in front of the units and you make all these markers and all these other sorts of things, it's really amazing how quickly and how simply it is to keep track of your games of Age of Sigmar. Now, I know some of you folks out there are thinking like, hey, this is only 4 pages. Why are you trying to overcomplicate this? Well, if you haven't played Age of Sigmar yet, you'll understand there is a lot of stuff to keep track of. And with these supplements, it'll really help. Because when you're going double turn sometimes, things get a little convoluted. And even though you're not trying to, make it feel badsy for your opponent, you might just forget yourself and screw yourself. And I've done that a couple of times. I was like, ugh, I totally forgot to activate that unit. Now it's going to die and I'll lose the game. And stuff like that can happen. So let's take a closer look at some great supplements for your games of Age of Sigmar. So here's all the supplies you're going to need to make your very own gaming supplement aids for the General's Handbook and for playing Age of Sigmar. So first off, you're just going to need a pack of ruled index cards. These are literally $1 at Walmart. It's back to school time. Everybody's going back to school. Woo! And then we get this little round circle thingies here. These are exactly perfect enough to fit on the old 25mm bases that nobody's using anymore because they're putting everything on 32s, right? So grab you a big bag of these you should probably have in your bits box. Grab you up a pack of these stickers. And get you some sweet ass markers, some Sharpies, maybe some fine tips. Maybe I'll use some of those metallic Sharpies that we used that I showed you on here how to do trim. And grab your General's Handbook because there's going to be a lot of writing things out. Alright, so this is the epitome of nugging it out in your Beats laboratory. Basically, sitting here, with your own Beats machine, checking all your books, getting everything all together, trying to figure out what it is exactly you need to keep track of on the tabletop. And let's face it, Age of Sigmar, it's a great game. There might have been a little flop in the rollout a year ago, and whatever, we're past that. Now we got the General's Handbook, and it's a little bit more balanced for play it goes, right? Because a lot of people are getting into it, a lot of people see, oh, okay, well, you're bringing 1,000 points, I'm bringing 1,000 points, you're not a D-bag. All right, I'm not a D-bag, we can trust each other, here's 1,000 points, cool, we're all on the same page, got it. But at the end of the day, you got to remember too that Mel Brooks said it best: merchandising, and that is where a game is 100% truly successful. Like you see it with 40K. A new codex comes out, and we get the little psychic power data card thing. The dice, the everything that goes along with it, right? Where's the Age of Sigmar dice? Where's the Age of Sigmar data cards? We don't have those because there was no opportunity to need those accessories because the way the game was previously. So therefore, we don't have that stuff yet. So we got to do it ourselves. We got to get in our Beats laboratory. We got to get crafting, Martha Stewart style or whatever she does. I don't know. Maybe she's something else. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, what I'm saying is that there's a lot of stuff to keep track of on the tabletop with the alternating activations when it comes to
combat. And also, if you go double turn back to back, the bottom to the top of the turn, then it gets even more convoluted. You lose track of like what even battle round or turn it is sometimes, right? So all of these things combined really has necessitated a need to be organized when it comes to games of Age of Sigmar. Now, I've seen a lot of people in 40K play, keep track of their squads and stuff with little mini rubber bands. Like, I don't know whether they're for like dentistry retainers and things like that. I've seen people use the rings around milk containers, like little Slurpee, little smoothie containers and things. And they're all ingenious, of course. I think it's a great thing. And whatever works for you, obviously, color coding your stuff and making that all work. That's great. And that's what it's about. That's what this video is about. Is getting organized and getting those game aids together to help you have a good game and keep track of what you're doing, and also help your opponent understand what you're doing, because you don't want to misplay and make it feel badsy for your opponent, and also because then you would feel like you kind of slighted him a little bit. But also it helps the games go smoother. So first off, there's a whole bunch of different options, so you got to figure out what it is you want to make first of all. And right off the bat, I was like, yo, I need some activation tokens, because I need to know who I attacked with on the tabletop, right? So let's throw all this stuff aside. So first off, I was like, all right, I need some sort of way to mark my units, to basically say, hey, I activated one, right? So I grabbed these little stickers right here and a pile of 25 mil bases. Like I said, I'm not using them for anything anymore. No models go on these daggone things. And I was just like, hey, right off the bat, let me just like slap some A's on here. Scarlet letter A in red, obviously, because that's just the way it is. Slap some of these on here, and then boom, you just take the freaking sticker and slap it on your base, right? And smush, you're good to go. And then that way, when you activate a unit, on the tabletop, you're like, boom, that has activated. And that sticks around. Like I said, remember, one of you guys is going to go double turns back to back. So it's great to have this stuff clearly marked, so you're not like, did I tackle that Plague squad, or did I not tackle that Plague squad? You know what I mean? So that gets a little convoluted. And next up, I was like, all right, what else is there? There's like Battle Shock, right? So you want to, you can have that inspiring presence. So you literally just kind of take another sheet, because you don't need quite as many for activating and stuff, and then you can be like, all right, well, let's see, immune to battle shock. Well, what do we want to write that out as? Just grab a different color. I mean, we're literally just crafting here. This is just like so easy. So no BS. I'm all about some no BS, let me tell you. And I want to put 2 of those on there, because Chaos actually has an ability where you can do it twice. You can do the inspiring command twice with the crowning command. So I'm gonna slap 2 of those on there, and I'm like, well, what else? I know there's a ton of other stuff. Well, we can be +1 to hit, +1 to well, not exactly +1. We can be +1 to hit, -2 to hit, or -1 to hit. You can be +1 to your save, -1 to your save, for all sorts of different modifiers. So those are all good ones to do. Okay, well, let's get some different colors here. Let's just get in here, try to keep it all standard, and I'm using some of my metallic markers. So +1 hit, +1 to hit, because there's nothing better than +1 to hit in this edition. And then you say you want to do something else like -1 to hit, like you get hit with some sort of detraction or something like that. You could just do it different. You could be like hit in a different color, but then put it down here, something like that, right? Hit -1, hit -1. Very easy stuff right there. And when you're doing it with the markers and stuff, it makes it all color coded. So basically, go through your books, figure out your abilities, figure out the stuff that might happen, that has happened to you in game, that might happen to you in game. And these are all great things. I can tell you right now, all of these things have happened to me at least once. In a game of Age of Sigmar right there. So there's all that. Okay, well, that's cool. I like that. That's easy. And then you just grab you make it rain a bunch of bases out, scoop them all up, just start sticking like it's 1980s and you got a new G.I. Joe toy, and you're just like, yo, I want to play with this thing. Let me get this on here. Boom, there it is. And then you can just basically use these things. Now, I'm sure there's going to be some of the button makers and all the different marker folk out there that are going to generate these things and have these things available for us. But right now, you know, the summer, we got the campaign going. You know, it's the season of war. Ain't nobody got time for that. You gotta get your models on the table and get playing, man. Summer, let's do that. So then I was like, well, what else do I need? There's got to be other stuff. I mean, I mean, is that enough to keep track of what's going on the tabletop? Nah, probably not. So then I was like, all right, well, let's get to writing. So I wanted to have a bunch of little data cards about, you know, basically my abilities and such. Because when it comes to allegiance abilities on the tabletop, you have... if you're like Order or Destruction or Chaos or Bone Splitters or Sylvaneth, you know, whatever you want, you get some sort of special ability. So grab your book and try to figure that stuff out, right? So you grab your General's Handbook and you're like, all right, well, we got some special abilities in here. Let's see what's up. There we go. And let me tell you what, I have played at least 10 games with my Chaos Demons, and not a single freaking one have I remembered this unpredictable destruction rule right here. And that's not the only one. Like, everybody has a battle trait that applies to their army. And I'll be darned if I remember anybody playing them against me, right? Rampaging Destroyers, that's pretty good. So these are the types of things that you want to write out. And it's super easy. You just basically, hey, all right, well, just do it color-coded. Like, let's see. I'm going to do it in red. So this is a battle trait. We're going to do I cannot spell, predictable, ABLE, destruction. Right? Look at that. Nice block script so I can read it. And underline that, throw an underline on that. Then we're going to dual color it, combo. And then we're going to say what it is. So basically, when you pick a chaos unit within 8, what is it? 8 of your general, within 8 of your general on a 6, gets +1 to hit in combat. And it's in combat only. Very important. In combat, right? So, well, what is that? If your opponent's like, yo, what is that? Well, that is a battle trait. So let's notate it as such. Battle trait. Happy battle trait. Battle trait, boom, there it is. I got a data card. Didn't cost me $8. Well, actually, it probably did between all the markers and the index cards and things like that. So there's now I got a little battle trait card, and it doesn't stop there, folks. Like, you can literally make. I literally made all of these. I got battle trait cards. I got artifacts, because remember, if you take a battalion, you know, you can get an extra artifact as well. So I got some artifacts that I might use, right? There it is. And then I've got traits, because you got battle traits. You also have command traits as well right here that you can pick out. So I got a couple of those depending, you know, basically maybe what I want. If I'm going up against Order, maybe I want this Dark Avenger right here, because rerolling is better than just a +1. So you just write all those out. And right at the bottom, you basically know what it is. So you can kind of set up your little game board. You know, when you're on the tabletop, you're like, all right, well, cool. I got artifact here, and I got this artifact over here, and I got this battle trait. So you start at the top of your hero phase, just start like you're reading, left to right. You start with all your battle traits and things like that, and you move over. By the time you get over here, you're in combat phase, right? And you're all good to go. So there's those. And then I was like, well, what else do we need? Well, there's some other stuff in here that I keep forgetting to do too. They're called triumphs. And if you are actually underpointed, you get a bonus. It actually says you must roll on this chart. Must. It says must. You got to do it. You can't not do it. So if you're under points, you get to roll on this chart, and you get one of these 3 abilities, which is a one-time use, but it's still pretty good. Rerolling a lot of things, rerolling failed to hits, rerolling failed to wounds, or rerolling failed saves once per game could actually mean the difference between holding the line and not holding the line. You know what I mean? So I was like, well, hey, that's easy enough. Let me make a couple of those data cards right there. Boom. And then I just color-coded it differently with the metallic markers at the bottom. So, I mean, that's literally how easy it is. And then the very last thing that I thought of, I was like, well, you know what? There's formations too. And there's always special abilities for formations. So I went and grabbed the formations for my Nurgle Demons, which one of them comes with the Start Collecting Guide. right there, the impossible resilience, and then also the Taliban and Nurgle. Now, in 1,000 points, probably can't play the Taliban and Nurgle, but I can definitely play this Plague Band right here. Larger games, I'll probably play the Taliban, but you know, it's good to have both of those and have the option of them right there. So again, just basically took one of my cards. I don't know if it's here. Oh, here they are right here. So basically just took and wrote out both of those battalion abilities, and I put battalion on it so I can explain it to my opponent, be like, hey, this is what my stuff does. Because you know, when you're on a tabletop and you're setting up for Age of Sigmar, you got basically your app, you got your books, you got all this stuff, and it's very hard to like fumble through all of it. And if you just have the freaking cards out on the table, it's so much easier, so infinitely easier to play the game and focus more on the game and the tactics and having fun and playing with your opponent than trying to figure out what the freaking rule is you're trying to remember and what freaking order to do it. You know what I mean? So that's the fun that I've found in this game. And speaking of fun, one last thing to do here is this is how you finish off your index cards.
So once you finish filling all these out, obviously you're going to have a little thing right here to cut down the middle. Now you can grab scissors and you can be all like super precise and like, I'm super cutting with scissors like I was taught to do in elementary school, right? Boom, there you go. Or, this is the Age of Sigmar, you can get draconian with it and get you a paper cutter. These are fun. I love these things. We're going to guillotine the crap out of this right here. So, you just basically take a bunch of your cards. Not too many, because you don't want to like jam the paper cutter. But basically just fit them in here. And obviously don't put your fingers in the cutter. And remember kids, don't try this at home unless you have adult supervision. I need an adult. Oh, I love it. Wow, that was very rewarding right there. So that is how you can make some really easy and fun, if you have a paper cutter, I guess, game aids for playing Age of Sigmar.
Spiky bits.
Make sure you stay in the trenches by becoming a supporter over on Patreon and also scoring yourself some free miniature swag in the process. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Check out our site, spikybits.com, for all the hot hobby tutorials, news, rumors on all your favorite hobby topics. And head on over to thelongwar.net. That's the home of the battle reports for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today.